Hi everyone. Hello. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. Hi everyone. It is me, Alexandra Figueredo, and this is 5 steps to create your 2022 visibility plan. I'm going to start a presentation in just a second, but I just wanted to say hi to everyone. If you're here, I know people are going to be streaming in. And so if you're live, I'd love to hear where you are in the world. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm looking at the recording and it's coming out funny. So I'm going to share again and see if it goes into full screen mode. Let's try this again and see if it comes out better this time. So apart from all those publications, I've also been, yes, it worked. Woohoo! Okay, so apart from those publications, I've been featured on in news programs, in TV programs, in web shows, and I was a publicist for many years. I was actually I worked with celebrities, I worked with public figures, I worked with large brands like Samsung Latin America, Harman Kardon, and other big brands over the years. And I had to be out there. I had to put myself out there. So just so grateful for those opportunities to really step out, even being a spokesperson for some brands. And considering I had my fear of being seen, I pushed through, and this was before the pandemic. I used to be, of course, super afraid of speaking in public, any type of speaking. But I pushed through and managed to get in front of our audiences of, you know, everything down to several, to a few dozen up to hundreds of people and counting. So what's cool about online is that I've been able to be present to thousands of people. So having this over the last couple of years since the pandemic started, it really pushed me and pushed me and pushed me further and further and further out of my comfort zone. What even is a comfort zone, right? So I'm just so grateful that I'm able to show up now in both online and offline. And I've been now for the last, since I mentioned, I did my first book in 2011, and that since has become a best-selling book. And I'm co-authored another book on Amazon, another best-selling book on Amazon. And I've been a contributor for numerous publications. I'm a Happy for No Reason trainer, which that program was founded by Marcy Shimoff, who is from The Secret, which hopefully all of you know. And for those of you who don't know, that is a law of attraction book. And I've hosted my own summit. I featured Marcy as well as other New York Times bestselling authors, amazing 6 and 7 figure business owners, female business owners. So so blessed, and just feel grateful that I pushed myself to do all of these things. And I also became a dance instructor, and I've started my own abundance cause and movement. Alrighty, so who am I then? I'm a brand and visibility coach and the founder of Visibility Vixens. And based on my story, I help other female entrepreneurs who resist visibility and sales to overcome their challenges and implement strategies that will help you grow your visibility and business while having fun, freedom, and impact. So, yay! And before I forget, if you enjoyed this, please like this video because it's going to help the algorithm. So, for those of you who are looking to grow on YouTube, take some of the suggestions that I make and implement that in your own channel. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate that you go ahead and do that. And hit the bell because you're going to get notified anytime I go live or anytime I post. All right, so let's get started. All right, so this is about creating your 2022 visibility plan. And I realize I speak super fast. So I'm going to try to take it down a notch during this portion, which is this is really the workshop portion, okay? And so normally I do one of these every single year. And last year, I've been doing this now for a couple of years, where I host an intention setting workshop in January. And last year, one lady who attended, she was it was so cool. She ended up it wasn't just about visibility, it was a more broad, but she ended up manifesting people, new team members for her team. She's in direct sales. Actually, it was an MLM. She ended up manifesting a partner within the next week as well. There was a third thing she ended up doing. I can't remember now what it was, but it was three things, and I just couldn't believe what it was. It was just like all of these things all together, and she was just like, I can't believe it after setting intentions for what she wanted for the year. So I want the same for you, and trust me that I will be doing this as well along with you. Okay, so let's get started. So I wanted to set an intention for this event for I actually pulled a goddess card for us, and the goddess card that I got, I'm calling it an inspiration card, is Unag, and it says easy does it. There's no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. And I'm going to stop sharing the screen so that you can see the card. Unag, easy does it. There's no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything's occurring in perfect timing. And I'm pretty sure that this is partially, I kind of pulled something for all of us who are watching, but because of the timing with the full moon, I'm pretty sure that this is related to that as well. Because we're in this, like, we want to do all the things. And sometimes we need to have compassion for ourselves and not try to make everything happen, especially all the things. And what I love about this particular presentation that we're going to do, and I'm going to go back to sharing my screen, is that we're going to talk about ways that you can prioritize the things that are most in alignment with you and your business so that you can, it's really like an energy management, right? If you're doing all of the things, then you're going to feel depleted. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, what is your big intention or goal for this event? So for this call, would you like to, just think about that. So like for me, what I want is for all of you to, to really reflect on what's worked, reflect on your vision, and create a plan that works for you, not that you think you should do, but something that's really that works for you and your vision, and also creating some actionable steps so that you can actually make it a reality. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do, step one, I promised that this was going to be a 5-step process. So the first step is to connect to your mission and your vision. So if you could wave a magic wand, and this is a portion, if you don't have something to write, like a journal or paper or a tablet or something like that, go ahead and get that now. And I want you to reflect on these questions, and I'm going to give it a little time. I'm going to give us all a little time for that. And okay, so if you could wave a magic wand, where would you like to be over the next 12 months with your mission and your purpose? So this is your mission, your purpose, your why. Why are you here? So let's connect back to that. Why? What is your why, and what's your mission? And you're welcome to type in the chat, but if you don't want to, that's totally fine. I honor that, and you can write it down, connect again to your mission and your purpose. And for each question, I'm going to give you about 2 minutes so you can reflect, and of course you can come back to it later. So if you don't know what your mission and vision is, or your mission and purpose is, close your eyes. Just imagine you serving the world. Where are you making a dent in the universe? What are you so passionate about doing and serving others that you do it for free? Where do you make the biggest impact? How do you make the biggest impact? All right, another few seconds. And now let's look at your vision for your business. What do you see for yourself and your business over the next 12 months? Who are you helping? What does your business look like? And if it helps, think about 12 months from now. January 17th, 2023. Stepping back and looking at what your business is doing, who you're serving. All the awesome things you're doing. Just another 10, 20 seconds. And I want you to think of the first things that come to your mind. All right, and the last for this step is to think about the visibility you want for your business. So, as an example, are you, do you have thousands of subscribers on YouTube? Are you writing a book? Are you in front of the media? Are you on TV? Do you have a system of generating leads like clockwork? What does your visibility look like? Do you have somebody supporting you on your team? And go ahead and look at all your answers and see if there's anything in particular that you're really, really excited about, that either stood out to you, stands out to you, makes you excited. Like for me, it's growing my visibility Vixens. I guess I'm going to call it an empire for now, but this platform, really grow that and serve thousands of women. All right. So we're going to move on to the next one now. The next step. And of course, you're welcome to, to take a look and refer back to your answers later if you're stuck on one. Okay, so the next step is what worked and what didn't work in 2021. Now, this is, I think, so underestimated, this tactic, this strategy. But it really helps you to to look back and see what the heck got me clients, what the heck got me visibility, right? A lot of times we have, especially most of us solopreneurs, we can be clueless about this, right? So I want you to reflect back on 2021 and, if necessary, the prior 3 years. So, 2019, 2020, 2021. And the reason I'm saying the prior 3 years is because there might be something that really worked in 2019. Let's say, like for me, doing in-person events really worked. I haven't been able to do that in 2020 or in 2021. However, or I chose not to do it anyway. However, once things start to open up again, I will definitely be bringing that back in. For now, I've had to pivot and do online speaking. But my point is that I know historically that in-person events work for me. So that's why reflect back on 2021. But if you need to, go back a few years and see if there's anything else. What we're trying to do is see what's worked. Okay, so I want you to list, first step in this reflection is to list all the strategies and tactics that worked. And then once you've done that, rank them in order of like what's worked best. Okay? So let's go ahead. We're going to put a couple minutes on the clock here and let's get started. All right, so begin to wrap this part up. So like, for example, for me, speaking engagements historically has been what's worked the best for me. I haven't done as many of those though over the last couple of years, but I've hosted my own events. And so I've done less events where I'm a featured speaker and I've done more of my own events. So that's a kind of a shift that's happened since the pandemic, but still both work. And then for me also Clubhouse has worked, and YouTube is something that is, I'm seeing some engagement and some momentum with YouTube. So that's behind the scenes. I always like to peel back, like pull the curtain up. That's part of the reason why I decided, among other things, to host this on the YouTube Live. So what's worked for you? And then rank them in order. And then the second thing is list all the strategies and tactics that did not work. Okay? Now, I'm not going to tell you to discard those. In the next step, we're going to look at this part, but I just want you to assess, out of all the time and energy and attention and focus that you put on strategies and tactics, what did not work over the last year in particular? But if you need to go back to 2019, go ahead. All right, let's get started. Now, by what didn't work, that could also mean maybe you had really slow growth, or maybe you didn't like it, or maybe you didn't, you didn't get the engagement that you wanted from it. Okay, begin to wrap that up. Another 10 seconds. Okay. Like, one thing that I thought TikTok was going to be like a really great app for me to excel in, and I just didn't really get the traction that I wanted when I was testing it. And so I decided that, I'm not going to put a lot of attention and focus on it. So that's an example of something that didn't work for me in 2021. It's not to say that it doesn't work at all and doesn't work for other people, but for me, I didn't get the traction and momentum that I wanted. Yeah. So Paula says, same with me, live events. Yeah. When you say work, you mean visibility. Sorry, I just saw this right now. So what I mean is, what worked and what didn't work could be that it could mean whatever you want it to mean, actually. It could mean whatever you want it. It could be that got you visibility. It could be what got you clients. It could be what got you leads. It could be what I left that purposely not specific. I left that purposely general so that you could see what is relevant for you and your business. All right. And I'm doing this exercise along with you all, okay? So I am definitely, all of this is important for us to reflect on. Okay, next, step number 3 is, so let's brainstorm all the strategies to bring into 2022. So taking a look at what you wrote down in step number 2, what worked? Which of these strategies that worked for you, would you like to bring into 2022? And maybe it's all of them, right? Or maybe not, like there are some things that worked for me that, for example, I hosted a summit last year and I'm not really rushing to do another summit. So what worked that you want to bring into 2022? All right, let's take another couple minutes for that. All right, begin to wrap that part up. Okay. And so, which of the strategies that didn't work for you can you tweak or revise? So, let's just take my example of TikTok. TikTok, can I tweak and revise something on TikTok? Absolutely. Is it something that I want to do? Not necessarily. So, not at this time. So, see if there's something that of the things that didn't get you the results or the momentum that you wanted, is there something that you can do to tweak or revise those? And this is, I'm going to say, particularly important or relevant if it's something that you enjoy. So, if it's something you don't enjoy and it didn't really get you the results, then that's probably a good sign that it's not a good strategy for you to bring into 2022. Okay, so go ahead and assess those that didn't work and see if it's something you absolutely don't want to do, then okay, X that out. If it's something that you do like or you do enjoy or you're just curious about and you can tweak it or revise it, make a note of that. All right, let's put another minute here on the clock and let's get started. All right. Okay, so the last question for this section is, what strategies and tactics would you like to test in 2022? So, is there something that you've been eyeing? And by strategies and tactics, I should probably give you kind of like some broad parameters on this. I realize I probably should have done this a little earlier. So, strategies and tactics, we're talking about, it could be social media, different platforms, it could be media exposure, it could be direct marketing, it could be speaking. Look at the different strategies and tactics that kind of some of those broad some of those broad categories, and then you can also break those down into more specific. So for example, broad would be social media marketing. More specific could be Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, right? So is there something that you've been curious about or you've been wanting to test? So I know a lot of you are really interested in growing Clubhouse, right? And so you've maybe dabbled, but you really want to lean in and go more into Clubhouse. So that's something, that's an example of something that you'd like to test more of in 2022. A lot of you have also mentioned you want to do more reels on Instagram. So that's something you could definitely lean into and test in 2022. So what are the things that you'd like to test? Go ahead and write those down. And then I want you to rank them in order of like what are you most curious about testing down to, just rank those in order. Okay, let's go ahead and give you a minute or two on that. And ready, set, go. Alrighty, just another few seconds. Go ahead and type in the chat if you need a little more time to reflect on any of the previous steps. And I should have asked. You see, I'm testing this, okay? I'm testing YouTube live. I am not liking that it's hard for me to see the responses, the chat. So, maybe this isn't the platform for me to be doing this, but I have to test it to know if it's something I like and I want to do, or maybe there's just something I need to do, right? Like what was number 2? Which of these strategies can you tweak or revise? Maybe it's just a matter of me learning how to tweak or revise so that it works for everybody. So to go ahead and type in the chat if you need a little bit more time on this or the previous 2 steps. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the next step. Step number 4 is narrow down the strategies. Okay. So I want you to take a look at what you've written. You talked about your vision. We talked about the strategies and tactics that worked for you in the past, the things you want to bring in to 2022, and the things that you can maybe tweak. And so I want you to think about, out of all of the things that you wrote down, and maybe something else comes to you, right? Like after I had totally forgotten about the summit that I hosted last year until I answered another question later on. I remembered, oh yeah, I did a summit, right? So think about all of the things that you wrote down and what are the top 3 strategies that you would like to focus on in 2022. And like these could be broad. It doesn't have to be super specific. Although I do encourage you to be specific if you can. So broad, maybe it's like doing more speaking engagements because you know that you get clients from that, or maybe it's doing more. Maybe it's doing summits because you grow your list and you end up getting clients from doing summits. Maybe it's media exposure, podcasts and things like that because it grows your visibility. Whatever it is for you that you want to do in 2022, I want you to narrow it down to the top 3. And then just because I want you to think about this as well, I want you to think of one thing you'd like to test in 2022. So, in other words, the top 3 strategies are things that you know work for you or that you have gotten some momentum on in the past. So, these are strategies that do work for you, even if it's just a little bit, right? Even if you've seen a little bit of momentum, it's something that you enjoy and it's things that work for you. And then I want you to test or to pick one thing that you'd like to test. Okay? So go ahead and I'm going to give you a few minutes for that, but take a look at that and rank it. And then if you would like, go ahead and type it in the chat because I'd like to see what those are. And I will share mine as well. All right, so we're going to get a couple of minutes here. And ready, get set, start. All right. Begin to finish up. If you haven't typed it in the chat, go ahead now. So Paula says, challenges, affiliate collaborations, and podcasts will test increased media presence. Awesome. So for me, what I'm going to be doing more of is my own live events, which include challenges and workshops and seminars, retreats, and all that. The second thing for me is Clubhouse. Clubhouse I've gotten clients from Clubhouse. I've gotten leads from Clubhouse. And it's built my visibility. Like I've built my authority on Clubhouse. And also, there was one other thing from Clubhouse. Oh, yes. Growing my Clubhouse presence actually helped me grow my Instagram presence. So that was really cool. So that's something for me. And then the third is speaking on other stages, which I'm going to include podcasts on that as well, because podcast is a little different from me, from traditional media. And so it really allows me to, especially if I'm doing a educating people and things like that, then I consider that to be a hybrid between speaking and media. And then what I'm going to be testing is YouTube, right? Like I know that I'm all in on YouTube, but I'm really testing this platform, because there's so many new things on it, subscriptions and things like that, that I'm going to be building my presence on YouTube. So that's me. Let's see what else. Anybody else? Carrie, guest speaking at conferences and events, podcast as a guest, and launching my own and guest writing blogs. Awesome. Yes. So Carrie, which one would you say is are you testing? Or maybe you're testing all of them? No, I know you've done some of these before. So which one would you be testing? While I'm on this topic, let me know if you like this platform, the YouTube Live, or maybe Facebook Live. I know I've done the challenges on Facebook Live. Better or worse than Zoom? And it doesn't have to be based on my performance here, my quote unquote performance. It could be just in general. Would you prefer doing Zooms, or do you like the Facebook challenge, Facebook Lives, or do you like the YouTube Lives? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear that. So Carrie says testing speaking. Awesome. Great. Speaking has historically been where I've gotten most of my clients since I've been an entrepreneur. So I am a huge proponent of speaking for anyone who is a coach, consultant, any type of educator. Very, very big. A great way to get leads and clients. Okay. So the fifth thing is, let's break it down into actionable steps. So the reason that I had you choose or select, prioritize the top 3 things plus something you want to test is that I want you to be successful. I want you to get success. And it's not to say you're not going to do the other things, right? Like I have other things that I want to do besides the ones that I mentioned, but it's just having greater focus and priority on those things is going to put just much more energy into that. And when I look back on when I look back on what hasn't worked, a lot of it has been that I haven't really put the time and energy and focus into it. For example, I know that when I dive into TikTok, which I will at some point, when I dive into TikTok, I'm just going to put more energy and focus on it, but it's not a priority for me right now. So I've just kind of been dabbling into it. Even when I was testing it, I wasn't really putting in as much time and energy as I did with other platforms. So the same with LinkedIn. It's not LinkedIn and TikTok are not platforms I put a lot of attention on. At the time that it becomes a priority for me, then I will put more. So I want the same for you. I want you to put your energy, focus, attention on less things so that you can really make a bigger impact in those few things. Okay, so step 5 is break it down into actionable steps. So I want you, for each of the 4 strategies that you mentioned, so the three top strategies plus the thing you want to test, I want you to break them down into big actions or bigger buckets to focus on over 90 days, 30 days, and then 1 week. So I would just list each of them and then put, what's some 90-day, like let's say, just for ease, maybe 3 to 5 things, big categories over 90 days, 3 to 5 things, big categories over 30 days. And then over the next week, what are some things that you can do to build momentum? Maybe some of those are not something you want to, like maybe the things you're testing, maybe you're going to, table that for a little bit. That's okay. So just put as much as you can down for each of these. Okay, I'm going to give you a few minutes for these, and let's go ahead and get started. So I'm still going to have about another minute or two, but if you're done, go ahead and type in the chat what's one or two things you're committed to doing over the next week, just so that we can keep each other accountable, hold each other accountable. All right, so begin to wrap up and let us know what you're committed to over the next week. I love that Paula says reaching out to affiliates, setting date for March challenge, begin working assets, one-to-one coaching client setup, apply for 10 podcasts, make 5 videos for YouTube and TikTok. All right. I know one thing for me, that I haven't done for YouTube, for example, is do research keywords, right? I haven't done any keyword research on what words work, what terms work for my audience. So that's something I know is something I would definitely be doing over the next week. Or if I can't do it, I'm going to find somebody who can do it. So definitely important to, if you need help or support, to find others that can help and support you. All right. Okay, so the last part of this is the full moon ritual, which is happening right now. I'm looking outside and I see this bright, beautiful full moon. So this is the last thing we're going to do, and then I'm going to share with you an upcoming event. So thank you for being here as long as you have. If you haven't yet liked this video, I'd appreciate if you do. It'll help the algorithm. And also, if you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. Okay, so the bonus, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing is to find a standalone piece of paper, preferably, right? Because this is a ritual. So something that you can write on, preferably, and that you're okay discarding of. Giving you a little insight into what we might be doing. So go ahead and do that. And I'll give you just a minute if you have to go get something. So I want you to write down all the things you'd like to let go of. Okay. And I'm going to give us I'm intuiting 3 minutes for this. Okay. So I want you to write down all the things that you want to let go of. This is your beliefs, your fears, your habits. I don't know, shitty things that happened in your past memories that, are disempowering, or actions. Maybe there's people that you energetically need to let go of, or you feel called to. Places, right? Like I am looking to get a new home, right? So I'm very grateful for my home, and also I know that I energetically need to let it go. So what are the things you want to let go of now, especially over the last year? But what is it that you need to let go of? Go ahead and write it down. I'm going to give us 3 minutes for this. Let me put back the music and go. Write it all. you don't write it, it doesn't get let go. Just think, write it, write it, write it, write it. Write it all. What do you want to let go of? Write it all. Write it all on your piece of paper. Keep writing. Keep writing. Keep writing. What else do you want to let go of? Okay, begin to wrap up. Now, the reason that we do this during the full moon, traditionally during the full moon, we write or we reflect on the things that we don't want, that we want to release. And during the new moon, we focus on intentions and things we want to manifest in our life. So today you got both things because this was an intention setting workshop at the same time as the full moon ritual. So if you want to, you can go ahead and do the next part, which is the set the intention to let go of these things. And actually, let's just go ahead and do that. And the next part after this is to burn the piece of paper or flush it down the toilet, either one. If you want to do it now, go ahead. Or if you want to keep writing, and the full moon is actually happening, has been happening over started like a few minutes ago. So now is a great time, as soon as we get we finish this, for you to do this, to finish this ritual. And there's other rituals. If you have any other rituals for full moon, I know people put their crystals out to charge those. What is your full moon ritual? This is the one I do and that I love to teach. And so write anything else that you can think of, and go ahead and burn it or flush it down the toilet. And why the reason I thought of flush it down the toilet is because this is a full moon in Cancer, and Cancer is a water sign. So it might actually be beneficial if you don't want to burn it to flush it. So let's set the intention that we are releasing all of these things that no longer serve us, that are disempowering, that are holding us back, that are keeping us small. And so then, because we're doing the intention setting today, let's set the intention to receive all the things that you wrote down in your vision. So let's just take a moment to envision that vision as though it's happening and feel all the feelings, emotions that come with being, doing, and having all of those things in your vision. After this, I do urge you, as I said, to burn the piece of paper or flush it down the toilet. Maybe there's some other means that you can get rid of it, but those are the two that I historically use for releasing your the list of things that are holding you back. Okay, so with that, I just wanted to thank you all for being here. I wanted to share one last thing before we wrap. Before we do that, what has been your biggest takeaway, or maybe an insight, or something that that you are ready to, to receive or manifest or do more of to really increase your visibility and improve your business in 2022? Would love to hear in the chat. Okay. So just wanted to introduce you. This is actually the first time that I publicly mention this. So, ta-da! This is an announcement, so to speak. So I am introducing for the first time the Visibility Vixens Club. And so this is what I have referred to for some of you as the Visible AF Club. I decided that I wasn't going to name it that, just for brand consistency. We're now calling it the club, part of the Visibility Vixens bigger, empire that we're a community. I like community better than empire because this is really a community. The Visibility community is a club. And so for those of you who are there are some of you who are in my inner circle. That is my group coaching program. And the club is a monthly training that supports the coaching program, but this is its own entity. And I'm going to share that with you real quick. It's just a few slides here. So the Visibility Vixens, and I miswrote that. Okay, this is the Visibility Vixens. You see, I'm going to do this in real time. Visibility Vixens Club is, we have one visibility group training session per month, which is led by me. Now, this is more than just the challenges that we're doing. This is like a full, this is like a workshop. This is a training. And it's going to be all in. There's going to be, you're going to be room for you to ask any questions or get any coaching. And so I really wanted to be a super valuable. What I'm doing is I'm taking what all of you are telling me you need and want, and I'm putting that into my training that I'm going to be leading every month. And like the next one is going to be on Clubhouse, because so many of you asked me to do this that I said, okay. So, and I also am growing and leaning in and growing my Clubhouse in 2022. So that's going to be the next group training session that we're going to be hosting in January. And also, as part of the club, you're going to have access to all the club training recordings. So as long as this is a subscription, so this is a monthly subscription, as long as you are as long as you are a paid member of the club, you are going to get access to the recordings. And by the way, if you are either a one-to-one coaching client or an inner circle Visibility Vixens Inner Circle client, you get access to this. This is a bonus for you as well. So as long as you're one of my other clients, you get this as well. And then lastly, as part of this monthly club, you're also going to be part of I'm probably going to end up calling it the Visible as Fuck, Visible AF WhatsApp thread, because what I really want is for us to support each other, help each other get our social media engagement up. I think that's super important. We help and support our friends. I want this club to help and support each other grow our social media presence. So that is part of the club, and that's $97 per month. And if you pay in full, the investment for 1 year is $997. And so it's $97 a month, and that you can do, it's a subscription, it's ongoing. So you just pay as you go. And then if you pay for a year, you do get the benefit of 2 free months. And for those of you, this is a fast action bonus. I'm calling it an early Vixen fast action bonus for everyone who is gets into this program. There's going to be VIP upgrades to all my challenges. All my challenges for the next 12 months. So that is a value of $1,000. Once again, all my one-to-one clients and inner circle clients will get this automatically. So just wanted to let you know that. But for those of you who are interested in the club, this is valid while you're an active member. And so you can go to bit.ly/Visibility Vixens Club, or for the 12 months, you can go to bit.ly/Visibility Vixens Club Pool. And I'm going to type those in the chat now in a second. But just wanted to let you know, if you're interested in that, that is available. And this is basically the first month that it's launched. And I just would love for you to be part of the Visibility Vixens Club. And so if you'd like to speak to me about whether it's a good fit for you right now, if you have any questions, I do have some availability in my calendar. You can talk to me and book a session at calendly.com/Alexandra Figueredo/Visibility Vixens. And that's it for me, ladies. I would love to hear if you have any questions, or if you have anything that you want to share with me. Go ahead and type that in the chat now. And I'd love to hear, what was your biggest takeaway? Paula said, oh, you already mentioned that. Prioritize my action steps as Dr. Tanya. Awesome. Yes. Paula says, thank you. Let me go ahead and stop sharing. Yeah, I'm so honored and grateful that you're here. Thank you so much. I will talk to you. You know what? Has my screen been showing? Type in the chat if you saw my screen this whole time. I must have just stopped sharing right now. All righty. Big takeaway from Paula is how important media action is to me and finishing my book. Yes. Carrie says, love committing to the 3 things we want to do this year. Yes. Yes. Okay, good. Just getting used to this YouTube live. This is my first official YouTube live. So once again, gotta test things out, see if it works, see if it's good, see if it, see if I like it, see if we get engagement. All right, ladies, I am so honored that you're here and you spent your day. I am not sharing my screen right now. So it's just me. It's just me. It's been wonderful. Have a wonderful full moon. I love you all, and I will see you soon. Bye.